Now, I'm going to give you a brief, very brief snippet to help people be an ally. OIF stands for Operation Iraqi Freedom, also known as the Iraq War. It began on March 20th, 2003. OEF stands for Operation Enduring Freedom, and it's a multinational military operation aimed at dismantling terrorist groups, mostly in Afghanistan. It officially commenced on October 7th, 2001, in response to the September 11th terrorist attacks. Returning service members often don't think of themselves as heroes, no matter how extraordinary their skills, courage, or actions may have been. Their heroes are the ones still over there, or coming home in flag-draped boxes. Service members are as varied in their political beliefs as everyone else in America. Some are adamantly against the war, others staunchly support it. And everyone else falls somewhere in between. Assuming that everyone who joins the military is a card-carrying right-winger will only make you look stupid. No matter what his or her opinions about the war are, every service member of every branch of the military takes a solemn oath to support and follow our Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, and therefore cannot say anything derogatory about him. No one can describe how hot it was while being deployed in a war zone, so don't ask a returning vet about the heat. Instead, imagine yourself putting on every piece of winter gear you own, in multiple layers, putting a metal bowl over your head, turning your oven to 120 degrees, climbing inside, and living there for 6 months. Worse still is asking a veteran, did you kill anyone? It is an unanswerable question. Perhaps she did and wished she hadn't. Perhaps he didn't and wished he had. Perhaps she did, but it wasn't fast enough to prevent a comrade's death. Perhaps it was accidental, or perhaps it was so many instances of killing, he lost count. War requires things of us and taps into part of us that are never otherwise touched. Things most people need to work through or want to forget. U.S. military personnel do not take killing lightly, and anyone who has not been there simply cannot discuss it with those who have, much less pass judgment. Listen quietly if they choose to talk about it, but otherwise, please leave it alone. OIF and OEF veterans often want to go back to the war zone. Sometimes it's because they feel called to go finish the mission or support their buddies. Sometimes it's because they feel they can no longer fit into American society and its frivolous interests and fads. And often, some of the responses I've highlighted here today play into that. But regardless of the reason, it is fairly common. So if they tell you they're planning on redeploying, please don't look at them as if they're insane. They are exhausted when they get home, physically, psychologically, and emotionally, and spiritually. They often do not have the energy or focus to talk for long periods of time. It will take some time for them to adjust, so follow their lead. There is nothing black and white about what happened to them. Almost always, there are good things that come from a deployment experience. Likewise, there are some pretty difficult things that they face once they come back home. Don't make assumptions about their experiences. And the number one thing you should know about OEF veterans are, they are not the same people they were before they deployed. But do not assume that that is a bad thing. The service member may come home more confident, with better problem-solving skills, and may return with a deeper sense of gratitude for the comforts that it used to take for granted. Or she may have had a greater sense of purpose and direction than she ever had before. Yes, there may be many unseen wounds of the soul and spirit, but there are tremendous resources to help heal those wounds, both for service members and service members' families, and an ever-growing number of people who truly care and want to help. we, with that, go into the world and do good.
Amen.